Innovators Take, the next tech unicorn.
Okay, well, welcome back for everyone, and I'm really excited to kick off what is, again, one of the most exciting topics when we think about it, when it comes to unicorns and funding and the wealth of experience and expertise that we have on stage today. So I would love, again, kicking off with a bit of a twist of if you can introduce yourselves, and you can do a bit about your background, but also, what was the last startup then that gave you chills or that really resonated with you? You don't have to say the name if you don't want, but the last one that sticks out the most in your mind. Miko, we'll start with you. Little intro, and then the last startup that took you by surprise.
Right. So I've been based out of Gozo, and I think that today is good to be in Sigma because now a lot of people know about Gozo since there was a activities over there early in the week. So I do a mix of things. I work with a handful of venture builders as well as accelerators, but then also directly with a few startups. And I guess the reason I'm in this panel is that I was lucky enough in the past to do one unicorn investment, a company called MySQL, which was the first unicorn out of Finland and actually the second one out of Europe after Skype.
Lovely, thank you. Vladimir.
Very nice experience. Like I'm presenting Sonata Investment mostly. We're a bit younger company and we didn't have unicorns yet. At least we didn't realize that they're unicorns yet. We will see it in future. If we're talking about the last companies, I think we're focusing now, except like operators and platforms, we're focusing on game providers because I think in the industry, capitalization of game providers is the most understandable because of the amount of the deals that come in each year. And the last deals we're discussing are still in progress. It's a pretty prospective game provider with a very small team because I really enjoy when the like 20, 30 people are making the things that are like 100 people can do. You know, it's already like the mindset of the founders. I think such companies can be really a possible unicorn in the industry.
Lovely, and I'm also going to ask, please don't be afraid to get close and personal with the microphone so everyone can hear. Yes? Lovely. And now we're going to dive into unicorns tech, the difference between the geos, how that looks different in Europe as well. But what makes a startup feel like a unicorn early on in the stage? Please.
I think firstly, I was speaking yesterday with one interesting founder, and he told it like, he called his vision, he told like, most part of the investors are thinking it's hallucinations because it's something that's impossible. And if we're talking about the companies that are unicorns, not in iGaming world, but in usual venture capital now, most part of these fund founders were unrecognizable but by hundreds of investors exactly because they were telling them like, guys, you're worried, we are weird, you're crazy, what is going? I still remember the podcast of the founder of Riot Games, which is one of the hugest companies in the world, in gaming world. And he told like, people told him, what? Free game with skins inside? People will pay money for this? It's impossible, it's crazy. The same was like Airbnb, Uber, and a lot of other companies. Yep. And I think the first thing that you need to look at this kind of how founder is trusting his very, very weird vision, because all the things we're seeing, even like, I don't know, aviator in our industry. Yes. In 2018, if somebody will tell that the company will cost billions, the company that's creating one game, I don't know anybody who will trust in this. But it
living and breathing that vision and unwavering.
Yeah, we're seeing it right now. So for me, it's kind of strategic and systematic like approach, but also this kind of, let's call it magic vision. It's something that's possibly impossible, but the person trusts in this, and not even just trust. the founders know the route to this magic. What really diversify like magic founders and founders of unicorns from the usual founders that are creating business. Both are good, but
Absolutely. But there's a reason why unicorns are unicorns and
Yeah.
not everyone's a unicorn. Miko.
I have maybe a bit simplistic view. I look at a company that if it has any super fans on the customer side, meaning that they have got an early traction, but they got a traction from the early customers that are like so happy with the product that they are selling, that they're just telling everyone that you have to get this. So if you have few super fans, then you know you can scale it. The second part that I would look then is, it's a cliche, but the team. There was a study some years ago about unicorns that were on NASDAQ, that were originally VC backed. So they looked at all the companies that made it to NASDAQ with a value of more than $1 billion. And what they found out when they looked at the history of the companies, that on the average, they had to change the business model 4 times from the initial VC backing.
Wow.
So you have to look at a team that you're like, are these guys just going to go after like one model, or are they capable of changing if it's needed, or if the market gives them that kind of signals?
The adaptability. That's an amazing segue. But I want to, because the next question was, what is one more non-obvious metric that you like look for that you've seen across unicorns? And you actually hit on even 2 of them. Vladimir, is there one metric that would surprise us that signals this scalability and capability?
I think if we're choosing only one metric, it will be ambitious. Because we've seen a lot of projects that are coming to Xanada with very good founders, great expertise, knowledge, network, whatever it is. But you're seeing and they're gonna turn like, I don't know, second year, like 5 million GGR. The guys, like, you're kidding. Like, it's not interesting to invest. I understand that you're like covering the risk and you want only, I don't know, 500K investment, but working for 2 years for 5 million GGR, you're ready to put your time to earn 5 million GGR. And I think if we're choosing one metric, all of others, I won't take the metric of the customers. I will keep it for you. I fully agree with you here.
You can. That's okay.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not honest. So I will keep it for you. But if we're talking about this, yeah, I think there's the ambitions of the founder, because I still trust that. First of all, the unicorns are built by the fully founders, because they can change not only the business model, they can change fully pivoting the product, because they are flexible. Because all the successful businessmen, they are flexible. They
Both have brought that up. Adaptable, yeah.
Yes.
100%.
So yeah, I think it's ambitious.
Would you add anything?
I would add one thing, that if there's if the company is going after something that's not obvious, that I like. Because if they're going after something that's obvious, so that they read the market reports, yes, the market is going to be huge, and then they're going after something obvious, then you know that there's going to be 100 or 1,000 or 2,000 other people trying to do the same thing. But if they're going for something that's not so obvious, then you have to kind of like, well, could it work?
Ah, okay. Intrigue. Again, you guys set me up perfect for these segues, because we're talking about AI, huge, Web3, gaming, very fast changing and only kind of changing faster than probably we even expect. What would you say are the categories or verticals that are overhyped right now, and which ones are flying a bit under the radar, in your opinion? Miko.
Well, in some ways, AI is overhyped in the short term. But like there's the old saying that certain things are overhyped in the short term, but underhyped for the long term.
Interesting.
So I think that we're going to be seeing, once the AI actually becomes into fruition, so that there's like more and more is starting to be used, then it's actually going to play a much bigger role than we are currently seeing. under kind of represented or underhyped. In some ways, like if you look at AI and medtech, there's a lot of talk about it, but probably
Medtech,
not
is what
yeah,
you
but,
said,
but
okay.
probably not enough. Because I think that there's a lot of things that could be taking place over there, and at least in my bubble, I don't see that many AI medtech companies, and there should be much more.
Okay, inspiration, food for thought for everyone here who's looking to build a unicorn. Vladimir.
I fully agree with AI because I think this is the top hype, but I'm very afraid that AI will have the same history as blockchain has, because for last like from 2017 probably there were a lot of investment in blockchain, and still a lot.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, 99% were fully scam. And it's still like you won't find a lot of nice businesses exactly that are using it as a technology. And I still trust that this is ideal technology for a lot of projects, and they're not using it. And right now, they are used only by some big companies because they start realizing how to use the technology and how to make the product from it. But startups are fully down inside. Mika, you want to add something here?
Well, in a sense, what I see is that once certain technologies mature, they become invisible.
Yes.
So, like blockchain, in a
Yes.
sense, it's being used more and more in various places, but we don't talk about it anymore. You can find it. I mean, we
I
did
sense a
talk about
differing
it,
opinion.
but it's becoming more invisible in a sense. So it's not that obvious kind of a fundable things, but it's actually being used by large corporations.
I still meet a lot of projects that are coming with a like blockchain technology inside, but still have the same issue. They're coming with this like, we have blockchain technology. It's just okay, super, we're happy with you. Why do you need it? Trust level. Like, do you have any issues with trust level from the audience? You've seen like mostly, except in iGaming industry, it's seen that, and also in crypto blockchain, we've seen the same. They're coming and telling that there is a trust level problem. Can you show me some CastDev, please, that you have a trust level problem? Because I know thousands of users like with CastDev, and trust level problem is the last problem that anybody rise. And this is very like unhyped. I fully agree with you because it's already stable technology, but the problem that startups are still using it without needs, and they are spending a lot of money on this because, let's be honest, AI and blockchain developers are still high overpriced because there are not so many for all the companies. And when, I don't know, some ChatGPT like OpenAI or other companies are using AI developers, they fully understand why they're using them. But when you put in your startup very, very high skill blockchain developer or AI developer, ask yourself like 5 times, do you need it really? Or like probably you need a usual, I don't know, DevOps for like 3,000-5,000, and he or she will cover all your needs. And this is about founders' approach as well, like how you're sharing and how you're working with the resources that you have now.
You hit on something super interesting, and that's the trust part. What can founders do to really, and especially in industries that are known to be more risky, and it can be a lot harder to get that funding and backing. What can founders do? And then if you're thinking about it as a unicorn, to like really build up that trust when they're looking to bring in that type of backing.
If we're talking about the founders, especially on early stage, because the founders with the current business, it's a bit easier to choose and easier to agree because like you have traction, you have business, we have like money, network, and other things. It's a deal. You just okay. We need to change something to something, and it does the matter of how you agree on the changes. It's easy. And in this case, you're looking at the founder and looking, okay, the person built this for such amount of time. This is the history, this is his background. Probably if the person is already in the market, it's easy to ask all of his partners about like, what do you think about the person? So we're seeing how the person approaches his partners, clients, co-founders, whoever he has. And it's easy. But when we're talking about the early stage founders, this becoming a bit tricky because it's a kind of cat in the bag. You never know.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
And the only thing you're speaking too much together. You need to speak. You need to talk a lot. For me, it's a kind of the same like you're making friends or you are making relationship. You speak. You can't explain what exactly like catch you.
Yes.
But you feel it. Okay, like this match, we understand each other. We have the same vision. Like a lot of questions. The person asks a lot of questions. For me, for example, I analyze people mostly by not the answers, but more by the questions.
It's a very good point of knowing which questions and at what time.
Yes.
Anything to add, Miko?
Kind of building on what you said, I think it is a relationship. So you look at it like dating at first and feeling, is there some kind of an attraction? Is there someone that I might want to get engaged with? Or then if we get married, am I like willing to share kind of the inner secrets? And if things go wrong, how would things go with this person? So, it's very similar to working with at least early stage startups. Then you do your DD, meaning that you ask around friends, what do you think about this person or that person? Very similar.
Like wise marriage, yeah, you need to prepare what will be if you decided to exit. The same here, like you always need to be prepared for the exit, and it doesn't matter how in love with your business partner you are. You always need to write how you're going to exit if something goes south, because nobody knows how it happens. It's still people.
Make sure that paperwork is buttoned up. But that actually leads into the questions, kind of asking the right questions and when. What makes you lean in for a founder in a startup and maybe kind of actually walk away? If anything very specific, whether that's a green flag or a red flag.
First red flag is typically if they start with the hockey stick kind of and then start explaining about, have you seen this report? Yes, if I'm in the tech space, I've seen all the reports. I know all the numbers. That's a turn-off.
Okay.
And then secondly, it's also a turn-off is that if they haven't at all looked at what is my focus areas, they're just like, it's cold calling in a bad way, kind of so that's a complete no. But if someone has done their homework beforehand, had at least spent like 5 minutes on Google, saying, okay, well, you were involved in this and that, and then kind of then adjust the pitch that way.
Knowing the audience.
Knowing the audience, knowing the investor, then that changes the game for me.
I will a bit add to your stuff and then tell my red flags. I had a friend of mine. He's collecting bad pictures and good pictures of sales, anything. And then he has a full collection. On this collection, he's training his sales persons. Because if you don't see, there's the list of bad pictures. If I see one time you will copy that, I will kill you. You will be fired at the same day. And one time the lady came to me with some really good start of discussion, and I realized inside her pitch that she find the information even which I didn't put inside Google. It was just in some podcasts, in some little stuff about what we're really operating and what I'm really fan of. How she was built, she knows me for 5 years.
Oh.
And I was a bit scary at the moment because okay, you're so
There's a line that's crossed at this point.
Yeah, you're so needed, but from my point of view as a business developer, as a co-founder, because all the co-founders must be, or at least one among them should be a business developer, it's really very good preparing because she knows what to target, how to speak, and this must be done because it shows that the same approach the project will have to their clients. And all the clients just remember this. They don't care about your product. They firstly care about whom they are going to work with and the relationship with you, because if there is a sense to choose between competitors, the main thing will be choosing between relationship firstly. Of course, like price is money, it's important, but first of all, it's about relationship and what the service you provide to your customer. If we're talking about green flags and red flags and overall, for me the main green flag when people are thinking about building clients and business from the beginning and they're targeting, okay, let's build MVP, let's try this small MVP, let's see how the audience goes from B2C, B2B, doesn't matter. Let's find someone, let's make the cost dev, let's check, and then scale it. Vice versa, if like we need 2 years, 7 million to build a top-notch ideological platform of like what a cutting-edge technologies and any other very famous buzzwords, for me it's a kind of red flag from the beginning because people want to build something without understanding how the business works. Anyway, investors are investing in the business first of all and the people in their mindset.
There's actually one thing. What is one or you could say more buzzwords that you do not want to hear ever again in a pitch or from a startup founder that they think you're looking to hear or say, but it's overused, the biggest turnoff, even like maybe even a red flag?
We have no competition.
That's bullshit. Okay.
My favorite one, like disruption. I think starting from crypto industry, I have an allergy on this word. Like we are disruptive world, and again, like cutting edge technologies, top notch, and so like, guys, what exactly are you doing? Like I'm already listening for 10 minutes, but I still don't get what the product you're providing. Just you must be simple, guys, and your pitch to the investor is the same pitch to the customer. That's how we look at this. Like provide, I don't know, guys, we can raise you 20 plus GGR. That's all, easy, understandable. Like, do you want to raise it? Of course, anybody will want to raise it. If you come to the investor and like, see our product is rising 20-30% of GGR, easy. Everybody is understandable because it's money and everybody will be happy to listen to you. And then you can tell about your disruptive technologies and all other stuff. And this is the main idea. So please avoid this. Be simple. Simple is ruling the world. All the genius was very simple things.
Thank you. And you both have brought up some different startups and unicorns internationally and some out of the US. When you think about, though, the European landscape and a potential next future, what's more important? Is it dominating a local market or showcasing international scalability?
I don't trust that in one market you have a lot of chances to become a unicorn, if we're exactly speaking about unicorns, because doesn't matter how we're looking at this, because usually unicorns are building, except several examples, but usually unicorns are building by different rounds of investment and then like coming to the market. If we're talking not about US, because US is like additional market.
It is.
And we're not talking about China, because it's very special market due to like all the government control and other stuff. We're talking mostly about the Europe. Probably UK have some chances to become this part of unicorn, but other countries, it will be harder and harder. It's easier to cover the whole Europe.
Yep.
And to scale inside of it, because like the overall money inside will give you much better chances to become this kind of unicorn and cover different audience, different approach, and also again about diversification, because we are working in the industries where they are regulated but not so. And if you're covering only one country, the portion of your risks are becoming much higher, because you'd never know, like when any kind of government, and especially, let's be honest, Europe is very famous for regulated.
Yes.
There's even the jokes like, US creating, China is copying, Europe is regulating. It's like, it's normal. And if you're focusing on one country, tomorrow, I don't know, Germany, for example, tomorrow Germany decide, okay, we are not happy with this unicorn, let's regulate it, and the whole market will drop.
You're going to lose everything, yeah.
So,
Miko.
I partially agree, not completely.
Good.
Because what I've seen in too many cases is that the companies keep doing pilots We're doing a pilot in Finland. We're doing a pilot in Germany. We're doing a pilot in UK. I think that at some point you should be able to demonstrate that you can actually dominate a market, so that you're like, if you're selling whatever, that you can kind of overtake all the value chains, all the customers' attention within that specific area, and then kind of scale that. So yes and no. So I mean, yeah, it is risk management in various ways, but you have to be able to show that you can really kind of capture the market completely.
I fully agree with you here. We are usually trying to focus, to help focus our founders to 3 countries, just to avoid, because we've seen. Let's even speak about again Aviator. If they start in Europe, exactly in Europe, they will probably never become this kind of the company, because their market is not Europe. Brazil, Africa, I don't know, India probably, some kind of CIS region and so on. And exactly the diversification of the product gives this option to test different markets. Because in some cases you will think that the product is bad, but it's probably not the right audience for this product. So we are usually choosing at the beginning 3 countries and seeing the value of the product in different countries, comparing this, and then like probably focusing more and adding additional countries. But you're never keeping focusing on one country only, because for us we're seeing it's a high risk. But again, it's very important you're investing in different industries. It's not investing only in iGaming mostly.
And what you're touching on is there is science for this. There is very much this like balance of there is like some art and that we can't fully predict where things are going to go, regulations, and where markets are going to go. Okay. What is one unicorn that you missed out on, and what did you learn?
It's very, very hard question. I'm still trying to bite my elbow. I can't name the product itself, but when we started the fund, so like even before the start of it, I had an idea of started. So it was like December 2023. I've already exited the group and was like thinking around, going. And I've met a guy, and at that time they were honestly they needed money for secure themselves, because they already make some money, they already have a good traction. And the problem that we had some risks, because they were connected to one source of income, and we were like afraid of it. And we decided not to go. Yes. Right now, they have an investment round of 1 billion.
Wow.
I don't know if they're gonna close it on this valuation, probably a bit low, but anyway, when we were thinking about the investment, not to give the concrete number, but it was less than 10 million. So yeah,
you learned from that.
I fully learned from that I need to jump a bit more like in details, and it has a bit more trust to founders in some ways, because that time I didn't trust inside the numbers of what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Yeah. And also I learned that it's very hard to bite your own elbow.
Yes. Mikko.
There's one. Well, the funds that I've invested from are typically LP backed, and the LPs make can invest. Unfortunately, sometimes you just see a diamond. You know it's going to be great, and then you're kind of trying to talk with your LPs that, could we please bend the rules just a bit? And there was a company out of Finland that didn't turn out to be a unicorn, but actually turned out to be the first decacorn, Supercell. So I knew the founders from their previous company. If we had funds that we could do something in mobile game related, we could have had at least a small ticket in.
But no.
Nope.
Fair. Okay. We've touched on so many amazing points today, and for those of you who weren't there earlier, I love throwing in a few rapid-fire questions that they have not seen or heard before. So this is going to be one word, a phrase, the first thing that comes to mind. We're just going to do a little bit of back and forth, okay? First thing that comes to mind when you hear unicorn. Vladimir.
Success.
Success.
It's unnecessary to think about unicorns, actually.
Okay, unnecessary.
Unnecessary, yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, why think about unicorns? just think about good companies.
Okay. Biggest turnoff in a pitch.
The hockey stick.
Hockey stick. Biggest turnoff in a pitch.
Not focusing on business.
Okay. Web3 in one word.
Overhyped still.
Okay.
Buzzword.
Okay, and then best pitch in one word.
Emotions.
Ooh, like that.
I would go with what Jarek said earlier, inspiring.
Inspiring. Beautiful. Thank you so much for everything. And also everyone in the audience, please come up to them, speak with them. That is also, again, the beauty of having these conversations on stage. And thank you both so much for joining today.
Thank you so much, guys, for
yes.
coming.
Thank you.